What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we are back for the Japanese Grand Prix in Season 2 of F1 2019 Career Mode. The championship is very close, 4 drivers within a race victory, and I would say still in the contention of this championship. We have some driver moves. George Russell has moved to Mercedes, so to answer the title of the video, he is now the new Mercedes driver. Bottas goes to Alfa Romeo, and Giovinazzi has been let go. So you would think Bottas leaving Mercedes would be a downgrade, but looking at the performance chart, Bottas, I think, has made an absolutely phenomenal move with Alfa Romeo. They've been a bit of a dark horse in this championship, very underrated. They have been picking up the odd podium here and there in the former Pierre Gasly, but now with Bottas there, I feel like they'll be a very formidable team and one that we, shouldn't take lightly anymore. We move on to practice, and pace wasn't great. We move on to P2, where I do the majority of my running. I do the race practice program, I do qualifying and like ERS management in this one. But it was raining all throughout practice 2, unfortunately. So I was hoping it was going to dry up towards the end. It did say it was going to be dry near the end after 45 minutes. And so I was just waiting out the rain to see if I could get out there, maybe do a race run or maybe even a qualifying run. But the rain literally stayed around until like the last minute or two. So that meant that getting a representative qualifying run in or even a race run was just not viable. So unfortunately, we had to delay our practice programs until FP3, which I never do, because this is when you have to run with your event gearbox, and your event gearbox is the one that you run in qualifying and the races. You have a different gearbox that you run in practice, and that's the one I like to use. I don't want to use the one that I'm actually going to be using in the race, because with our gearbox wear rate, it can be line ball sometimes as to whether we can get it towards the end of the 5 or 6 race mandatory timestamp. But yeah, that was just unnecessary wear on the gearbox. But it's something we had to take anyway in order to get those practice programs done, which we have done. So hopefully it doesn't cost us too much in the last race before we get rid of that gearbox. But otherwise, pace is I don't know, it's not great. I didn't pass the qualifying run program, so that indicates to me that the pace isn't as strong here. I knew that already. Japan is up there with France as one of the most overpowered circuits for the AI, so we're really going to have a tough time with things here. Lucas Weber, if he continues to win, he's going to get himself into the championship fight. He's 41 points away, but if he continues to win, watch out.
Welcome to the only figure of 8 track on the F1 calendar. We're here at Suzuka for qualifying today ahead of the Japanese Grand Prix.
So yeah, this is a very interesting round. This is going to be, I don't know, almost damage limitation. We didn't have any upgrades go on the car in time for this race. We did the department efficiency for both the engine and the chassis heading into this race, so nothing has literally gone on the car. We're just having to make do with the package that we've got at the moment, just trying to pick up as many points as I humanly can, and then hopefully we'll have a big investment of points, and we can have a big flurry of upgrades to counteract what the other teams are doing in the final couple of races. But qualifying 1, I set one of my times, and then I decided to push on for a second lap on the same set of tyres. That didn't work out too well, but thankfully the time we did put in was just about good enough to get us through to the next session. The top 14 is just so close. I'm 7/10 away, and in Season 1, you would easily be in the top 10 if you're 7/10 away from pole, but I've nearly been knocked out in qualifying 1 by virtue of the field being so darn close with all the upgrades. So it's crazy. The field doesn't look close when you look at it on the performance index, but I guess it's just the way that it's worked, and the particular upgrades that maybe the top teams have focused on. Maybe they've gone for tyre wear and ERS upgrades, the like, that aren't really going to help you over the course of 1 lap, but will definitely help in the race. All these lap time increasing upgrades might be on the majority of the field at the moment, and that's why the field is as close as what it is, at least in qualifying trim. But like I said, the race is where it gets decided. But I set a time in Q2. We're just about safe at the moment. We're in P8, but the field is so close. It's so darn close to the point where I need to go out again because I'm not confident in the time that I've got at the moment. The AI behind me could easily go a little bit faster. Like I said, if I'm a 10th slower, I'm like 12th or 13th. So ridiculous. I need to go out again and hope to bang in this lap. If I improve by 2/10, I don't know where it's going to put me, but it could literally put me on the front row of the grid. I don't really know. But across the line now for our final run. We lost a bit of time in the third sector. It was a bit scruffy, but we just about squeezed through into the next session. I feel like that lap that we did do just got us through to Q2. If we didn't go out again, I think we would have been out, and my teammate has suffered because of that. So, Q3 rolls around, we got 10th. We improved by 2/10 over what we did in our Q2 time, but everyone else improved as well. So, I guess the track just ramped up a little bit, got a bit more grip, and everyone was able to extract a little bit more time. I unfortunately only had one run at it. Literally, the only other person who had 2 runs was Devin Butler, I think. So, yeah, everyone only doing 1 run there, which is interesting. But, unfortunately, yeah, we're in P10. We have to start on the soft compound tyres. The likes of Hamilton and Ricardo behind me, just on the edge, or outside the edge of the top 10, have free choice of tyre, and as such, they'll be big threats in the race. So, heading into this one, damage limitation. Beat Hamilton, beat Leclerc, and try and limit the amount of points that Weber gets over me in this race. And that's the goal, really.
We're live today from the Mie Prefecture of Japan as we look forward to the Japanese Grand Prix. The 2015 race here was one of only 5 Grand Prix in history to feature no retirements at all. Although with the highly competitive field we have today, I don't expect we'll be repeating that stat anytime soon. Anthony Davidson is here once again for today's Grand Prix, and we're just discussing the new driver lineup. Can we begin by having a chat about Sergio Perez? They've just moved to Williams. How do you think they'll get on?
Well, as a driver, whenever you move teams, you want to end up in a faster and more competitive car, so I think they'll be very pleased with their new home. On the other hand, moving to a larger, more successful team brings with it additional pressures and higher expectations, so we'll have to wait and see how well they cope with that.
Okay, we have 5 races till the end of the season, and we're still in with a chance of taking the Constructors' Championship. Good luck.
Constructors? Really? I feel like we're a bit too far behind No, it's not Mercedes. It's got to be Ferrari that's up there in the Constructors. But either way, I don't think we're much of a chance with that. Ricardo has been a bit of a letdown, but hopefully today he can finally deliver. The drivers is certainly what is up for grabs in this championship, but there's still a long way to go until we decide this championship. 5 red lights for the Japanese Grand Prix, and it's been an amazing launch. The second phase, though, as always, has been a massive letdown on this F1 2019 game, and Hamilton draws alongside, goes clean around the outside, returns 1 and 2, and he takes the final points paying position in this Japanese Grand Prix. Thankfully, it's only the first lap, and we have literally 2 hours of race time to make up the difference. So I'm hoping in the race the form can come alive a little bit better. It has been the case that, in the race you can do a little bit more. The AI can make mistakes. We can get the best over them in terms of strategy. So I'm hoping that we can certainly get in the mix with the top 5 also. Hamilton, let's see if we can get past him into the hairpin. Gets boxed in by Devin Butler, and we take P10 back. So we're not taking any prisoners today. We need to be ruthless with our overtakes and just not give the AI an inch. We're getting to the crucial stage in the championship where these little 1%ers are going to make a big difference. Like, we just can't afford to be a little bit lazy here or there. We need to look over all the details and make sure that we just make sure we get the maximum out of the whole weekend, because this championship at this stage could literally be decided by a point or 2. Again, defending against Hamilton in turn 1. We've gone for the mantra of high downforce at this circuit. Maybe a little bit too much downforce. I feel like the car definitely responds better when we put more wing on the car. And maybe that's a weakness at this stage. Perhaps the car doesn't have as much downforce as some of the others around us. Maybe other teams have more downforce upgrades, and so for me to compensate to keep up with them in the corners, I'm having to run higher downforce, and as such, it's making us a little bit slow on the straight today, as you can see in case in point there on the back straight. This is Devin Butler going up the inside into 130. I had to leave him the space. This is a replay, by the way, so I already knew that this happened, but it's still very exciting to see it happen in replay nonetheless. And through Butler's over-exuberance trying to get past us, he left himself vulnerable to Hamilton as Vettel gets a bit of a slide on in an effort to get past Verstappen through turns 1 and 2. Let's have a replay of that, shall we? It's all kicking off here in this Japanese Grand Prix. Here he goes up the inside. A lazy lunge from Vettel there. He just dives it up the inside, and I don't know. Probably could have turned in a little bit more to avoid contact. Maybe Verstappen could have left a little bit more space. Overall, probably both of those driving having a part to play in that contact. We now see Verstappen out of the race. That's a full-on engine failure for him. So very, very unlucky for the Dutchman. That is an extra 2 points for us in this race. So yeah, if we can just continue to capitalize on the misfortune of others, that's more points for us in the championship relative to Devin Butler, Lucas Weber, who is leading this race. So yeah, he's 41 points behind at the moment, and at the moment he's going to get a gain of 23 points over us, and if it finishes kind of as it is at the moment, he will be within a race victory of us, which is definitely not what we want. Another yellow flag through the first sector. This is Devin Butler we're riding on board with. He tries to overtake Hamilton into turn 1. It's a carbon copy of Vettel and Verstappen, but I think Devin Butler there lost a little bit more time as he didn't keep the momentum up. It's almost like he stopped after he went off circuit. Maybe there was a lot of cars blocking the racing line. But meanwhile, Vettel on the attack once again. The straight line speed deficiency letting us down at this stage as Vettel goes clean around the outside into turn 1. It's not even a straight line speed deficiency. It's just the setup that we've gone for. We've clearly gone for a little bit too much wing, and it's making us slow in the wrong areas. Like, we need to be fast on the straights in order to maintain track position. But at the same time, when I was faster in a straight line, I wasn't really getting much out of the first sector. So it's a tricky situation when the AI are very, very fast. We're just having to do the best job we can. We've got another yellow flag. There's a Williams off. Virtual safety car has been deployed. Let's have a look at this one because this is a big boy crash. It's Sergio Perez up the inside of one of the Alphas, and he is out of the Grand Prix. This time, the contact was a bit too substantial. Loses his front left tyre. And this is a replay of what was happening at the exact moment at Prez. DNF from this race. We have Vettel and the two Mercedes going wheel to wheel. It was George Russell on the inside. He got past his teammate. And if it weren't for the yellow flag, Russell would have got past Vettel as well in one foul swoop. But unfortunately, he'll have to sit in behind and wait for the VSC to go away before he can have another go at the Ferrari. Oh. Wow, okay, let me just get a moment to compose myself, just to grab a breath and kind of analyze what is happening in this race. So the VSC came out, we were able to save a little bit of fuel, a little bit of battery, nothing crazy. But now the battle resumes as Vettel gets back past George Russell. So George Russell overtook him within the last 60 seconds, I think maybe on the back straight. And then Vettel counterattacks with him straight away, albeit off the circuit. He gets back in front of the Mercedes driver, and now it looks like he's going to put pressure on me as we head into 130R for the 9th time. Around the outside, tries to make it stick, decides to back out of it and maybe wait for DRS on the start-finish straight, and he gets the job done. So, yeah, I feel like out of the two straights, I feel like I'm probably more weak coming onto the start-finish straight because my exit coming out of the final chicane isn't the best. There's a bump that's on the racing line, and it does unsettle the back of the car, meaning you have to, I don't know, be a bit cautious with the throttle, short shift a little bit, and I definitely feel like my exit off the last corner isn't as good as the AI is. We're now getting shoved off the circuit from George Russell. Thank you for that, Captain. I really appreciate that. He was up the inside, but not fully alongside. So I thought I'd just leave him the space just to be a bit courteous. He full-on took that invitation and smashed me off the circuit. In doing so, I think he's lost a bit of his front wing. So perhaps a bit of karma there for the young boy. He's a young boy. He's probably not that younger than me, but anyway. Yeah, he's lost a bit of his front wing. You can see the left front end plate has been knocked off. So, yeah, a bit too much enthusiasm from the newly announced Mercedes driver. Trying to make his mark, of course, in a new team, but he's just done a little bit too much. And now Hamilton is also having issues in the other Mercedes. He's got front wing damage as well. He's just completely fallen off the circuit. Kind of like I did in qualifying. He's missing both the left and the right-hand side end plates. So Hamilton, what's going on there, for one? But two, he needs to come in and make another stop in this race. So his championship is going from bad to worse in this Japanese Grand Prix. We overtake George Russell on the run into Spoon. He had that front wing damage. I was making sure I clear him as early as possible. And now you can see my teammate diving it in on lap 11 here. So he goes onto the mediums. We're responding on the next lap. It's worth noting that I was actually meant to come in on lap 10, but the team gave me an alternate strategy change and told me to stop the lap after Ricciardo as opposed to the lap before. So I thought, okay, let's just roll with that. I don't know, why not? The tyres felt pretty good actually on the softs, so I thought I'd extend the life on them a little bit. But we rejoined on the circuit. Ricciardo got a little bit of an undercut on us. We had a slow getaway from the pit stop, so the gap is 2 or 3 seconds closer than what it was. Ricciardo was a little bit further back before the stops, but now he's definitely in contention to grab my position in this Grand Prix. We lost a little bit of touch with Vettel, so hopefully we can get back in front of him, but it's going to be a hard old slog trying to catch up to him in the dying stages of this race. But you know, as is always the case, when you switch on to a harder compounded tyre, it feels like I do get a bit faster, and we definitely feel like that is happening. But Ricciardo goes all the way around the outside into turn 1. I was just defending the position as easy as you like. I had to brake a little bit earlier because it's the inside line, but I did not expect Ricciardo to just swoop around like he did in that fashion. That was incredible from an AI driver. And meanwhile, we've got more people getting tangled up at turn 1. This time it's Lando Norris. He needs some milk, I reckon, after that collision with not only the racing point, but the wall as well. Yep, that meme definitely can be applied here. He really needs some milk after that one. But 12 laps left to go in this Japanese Grand Prix. We're settling in behind our teammate Daniel Ricciardo. He's got amazing pace at this stage. He's got 1 lap older tyres, but his pace seems to be maybe a 10th or 2 a lap better than us. We're only staying with him because of the slipstream, the DRS. This is another driver getting tangled up at turn 1. The AI cannot keep it clean today. They are ridiculous. It's Bottas. It seems to be a curse of like the new driver swaps. They're trying to impress. They're trying to overdrive the car and just do a little bit too much, and they're coming unstuck in this Japanese Grand Prix. That is another place for us in this race, an extra 2 points. So we've had a good 2-3 drivers at least throw away their positions within the top 10, which is bringing me closer in the championship. The day could have been a lot worse. Had they kept it all clean. I think I'd be fighting for maybe 1 or 2 points in this race if it weren't for those incidents. But anyway, we see Ricciardo on the charge. Gasly is up next. I don't know if he's got damage or whether his tyres just aren't holding out as well as what ours are. Ricciardo goes up the inside into 130R. Gasly backs out of it, gives us the momentum, and we go clean around the outside. Gasly really late under brakes into the final chicane, but we get the move done, and we now have 8 points against our name in this Japanese Grand Prix. Next up, again, is Sebastian Vettel. We seem to be catching him though at this late stage. Ricciardo is on an absolute charge. So it's nice to see that he finally can showcase some pace in this career mode season. But it's coming at probably the worst time because I could really do with Ricciardo giving me his P5. As bad as that sounds, you've got to think about the team and the championship. I'm not saying he should get out of the way, but maybe the team should be suggesting that to him. We're going to do it on track anyway, up the inside into 130R. And there we go, top 5 scenario is back on the cards for us. Bit of a lock up into the final chicane. That's a bit disappointing because I could have actually gone for the fastest lap potentially on this lap. We come across the line and unfortunately it is not a fastest lap, so there will not be an extra point coming our way. But Ricciardo definitely coming back our way as he goes up the inside into turn 1. Whoa, he screwed that one up massively. Locked up the inside front. We were lucky in the end not to completely cream the back of his gearbox as he just got completely crossed up into turn 1, went in way too fast and gave up the position once again. So the AI are really crapping themselves when it comes to battling in turn 1. This has been a problem in the F1 games for the best part of many years. Interesting that they still can't get it right. That's a big lockup from me into the final chicane. Not a great exit onto the back of the start-finish straight. And now I would almost guarantee that Ricciardo is going to have a go here. We've got no battery left to fight with 5 laps left to go in this Japanese Grand Prix. I am giving it everything. But the AI today are ridiculous. They are on an absolute mad one. I don't know. Should I have gone with less downforce? It might have helped me in this 1v1 battle, but the lap time don't think would have been as good. So it's a really tough one to talk about. We just don't have the same pace as what the AI are. I'm really, truly pushing as much as I humanly can to stay with these guys. You saw I did put in a purple first sector when I was behind Ricciardo, but I need to, you know, summon a bit of that pace again. We have recovered some battery and some fuel, you know, stuck behind Daniel Ricciardo. Valtteri Bottas is now finally, well, I say finally, he's probably had another crash maybe, and he's out of this race. So we're down to 17 runners. The AI are having a, I don't know, it's a roller coaster. Like, the AI are on fire, but by the same token, they're very fragile. They keep crashing, having reliability failures, making mistakes. It's a real, I don't know, it's almost like it's not a career mode race. It's like a league race. There's just lots going on. A lot of variability from everyone up and down the field. But now there is a lap to go in this race after this one. We put in a purple third sector, which puts us close to having a go at Ricciardo into turn 1. Not quite. Not quite there. We need to, yeah, have a go at him into the final chicane. We're really good off of the spoon curve. We get a nice exit there, and the slipstream is good enough to get us in a position to have a dive up the inside, but we just need to use up all the battery, I guess. Have a really nice exit and just hope that that's enough to have a go. We're just nowhere when it comes to an exit off the final corner. We're never really in a position to have a go. Last lap was the best run I had out of the last corner, and as such we had half a go into turn 1, but this time we really need to not make a mistake. We need to put in a qualifying lap here on this last lap of the Grand Prix in order to get ourselves in a position to have a go at Ricciardo in the third sector. So let's see what we can do. Let's attack all the curves, all the corners as much as we can. We've gone green to the first sector, which is a nice start to the lap. We seem to be very good into this hairpin, even though I haven't really showed it too much in this race. We're able to get nice and close. We're tucked into the back of Ricciardo. This time we're using higher battery modes, whereas at this normally I would be running in a lower battery setting in order to save it. But it's the last lap of the Grand Prix. There's no need to save battery at this point. Ricciardo defensive for the first time in this race into the spoon curve, which might give us an edge as we exit the spoon curve. A little bit of a bobble there as we touch the curb, which has definitely upset our momentum. Probably cost us a kilometre an hour or so down this back straight. Ricciardo has got away at the second phase of the straight, and unfortunately we're just not close enough to have a go. So Ricciardo is going to get away with P5 in this Japanese Grand Prix. could that final position be costly?
Shame about the result, but I know you gave it everything. We'll come back stronger next time.
Today was another great race and an even greater victory for Haas. Here they come now to step out onto the top of the podium. They'll be incredibly happy with today's result.
Not the result we needed. Weber wins again, and we get P6. And I think Weber got the fastest lap as well, so Weber is going to gain, I don't know how many points, probably 18 over us in this championship, and that may put him within striking distance, within that 25-point gap that we kind of want to avoid now. 4 races left to go. Williams did upgrade their car heading into this race, so I was hoping that they would take points off of Weber. But now he sits 23 points away from the championship, and he certainly enters the championship fray with 4 races left to go. This championship is not over. We lead by 1 point over Charles Leclerc. Hamilton is falling by the wayside. Vettel has been somewhat consistent, but not quite there. So he might be one to get involved as well if he can lift his form. But Weber, you've got to say, is the biggest threat of all. With the amount of momentum that Haas has at the moment, with Williams slotting in P2, looking like the second best car clearly, those 4 cars are going to be occupying, you know, the top 4. They're going to be occupying the podium, you would say, maybe every race from here. We really need to get a wriggle on. We need to upgrade this car. We need to be better, because we're not going to win this championship if we don't get podiums for the remainder of this season. So all of a sudden there is a monumental amount of pressure to make the car better in order to just have some response. And unfortunately, we don't have the means to upgrade the engine, to do the major engine upgrade chassis wise. You know, we can do weight redistribution, we can do tire wear, but that is not going to give us the outright speed that we need to answer Haas and to answer Williams. It's got to come from the downforce or the engine. We can't do the engine right now. The major engine upgrade is the only thing we can do. The other, minor engine upgrades we can do is fuel consumption and ERS. Like, ERS is not going to help us in qualifying. It's not going to get us, on the second row of the grid in qualifying. It's just not. So it's got to come from the downforce. And, I'm now kind of really pissed off with myself because we've gone down the path of doing the department efficiency for both the chassis and then we did the engine. We're going to have to upgrade downforce, and I didn't do department efficiency for the downforce. So yeah, I'm just annoyed, to be honest. We're going to go for front downforce. The next race is Mexico. The straight line speed is okay. I feel like it's a good package. Other teams might be upgrading their drag. It might be drag reduction that the other cars have. That certainly is better. Our engine speed is good, but we are lacking some downforce relative to those teams in front of us. So we're going to go for the front downforce upgrade in Mexico. Mexico was a very unique race where you need a lot of efficiency with your downforce because in real life, the air is very thin there. Mexico as a city is very elevated, and so downforce doesn't work as effectively there. So if we can have more downforce and work on the weakness of the car, hopefully we'll have a better package. But yeah, with 4 races left, the gap is ominous to Lucas Weber. If he continues to if he just keeps winning like he's doing at the moment, that's 7 points at least he will be cutting into our lead. But if we're finishing P4, P5, even P3, he's getting the best part of 10 points every race. So yeah, I am stressed. I'm very, very stressed, but I guess it makes it good for you guys because we just don't know who's going to win this championship. It could be Charles Leclerc. It just depends on the upgrade of the teams at the moment. We need this downforce upgrade to go on the car next race because we can't go the best part of 3 or 4 races without upgrading the car. We just can't. We're falling too far behind. But there we go, guys. That has been this episode of F1 2019 Career Mode for today. With the stress aside, this is turning into the best season of Career Mode I've ever had. I've never been this uncertain about who is going to win the championship. It genuinely could be anyone. So, yeah, I can't wait to just get stuck into the episodes that are to come, to get some momentum back, to hopefully get a podium, get a win. Who knows? And then see what's what at the end of the season. I'm really, really enthralled at this current season of F1 2019 Career Mode. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to see plenty more racing game content. Yeah, that's it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. I was gonna say leave a comment to signify that you've made it this far, but I can't think of a comment. So let's say Gunther Steiner to yeah, signify Haas, who are annoying me. But anyway, that's it. See you next time. Where are we off to next? I think it's... I can't remember. Why are you still watching the video at this point? Still trying to think of where we're... Oh, Mexico. I said it many times. We're off to Mexico next. Okay. Good race for us, hopefully. We have been strong there in the past. So let's see. Until next time, goodbye.